Hello, everyone. I am Elise. This is Another Truth on YouTube. I hope you're doing well and you're taking good care of yourselves. I hope your weekend was restful and recuperative. It's been a really rough couple of weeks for me emotionally, and I think that I can say that I've had some level of dissociation. I can feel it. And I think it has a lot to do with some level of stress that I'm encountering, because that's what normally happens. The difference between this and my previous experience of it is that I am grounded in other areas. I am kind of walking in a fog, and I've been crying more than usual, but I'm also grounded in what I need to do. So I'm not completely out of the realm of reality. Now, the way that I see and have experienced dissociation, that has changed for me. There are some clear indications of it, and my dissociation in the past helped me to get through some really stressful times, but it was not really based on anything in reality. It's just a way to cope with a lot of stress. Um, but the difference this time is that I am grounded and I have planned what I'm doing in advance, and I've made such a routine of doing things that going outside of that routine would probably make things worse. So there's a difference there. But I'll have to tell you, I've been profoundly sad. I mean, the saddest I've been in quite a long time. And there are a lot of reasons for that, personally, and what's going on externally. So I haven't really had much interest in doing anything that I love. And I think, I have to make some decisions about my life to make sure that I am doing things that are important for my well being and development, instead of just focusing on the things that I have to do. There has to be a balance, and I'm not reaching that balance because I'm not supporting myself emotionally by doing just strictly stuff that takes me away from that. And I need to have that balance. But I can also empathize with people who are constantly under a state of threat or stress. And, for me, I haven't walked in everybody's shoes. I don't know what their experiences are. And it's not necessarily tied with how I feel, but I can't help but feeling that way. And, um, and I do have a lot of regret about stuff, but I can't be too regretful and sad, because then it ends up, whatever accountability I take, I would end up making that person feel guilty. That's what I'm afraid of doing. So I don't, you know, I just don't go on and on about it, because I never want to feel so bad about doing something that I forget, you know, what I'm supposed to do responsibly in that moment. And the idea of feeling that bad doesn't mean that I want to make anyone else feel guilty. I mean, because that's what happens sometimes. I just don't want to do that to anybody. So I am staying productive as much as I can, within my ability to do so. It's very hard to do that knowing that there is a lot of chaos going on. I can't go into a lot of it because of what I do in my community, although I can say without a doubt what I think people should prepare to do. But it's not to scare anybody, it's just to help people practically um, prepare, at least emotionally prepare for some things. And it's not to bring panic, it's to say, yes, there you have a set of rights, or you have a way to solve, a problem. You have a way um, to feel better about yourself. But I've also got to do that for myself, because I forget to do that for myself in a practical way. But anyway, so that in itself, like, even the community work is a little triggering for me. I'm in unfamiliar territory, and I'm learning to navigate it emotionally. So it's brought up a lot of feelings for me, and I'm not saying that that is it, the only thing that's going on. I'm just saying that my reaction to it has been interesting. I haven't been in a situation where I've worked for others or have been called in because of an emergency, and though I do very well in very stressful situations, because I work on autopilot sometimes, and it's like autopilot, but I also have that consciousness, um, and that's a time where I'm really taken out of myself and into the world of what's going on, even though it does the effects involve me. So I guess finding that balance between structure and flexibility is very difficult, and trying to find some things to support that is very difficult. Support myself emotionally through creativity. For some reason, I keep telling myself I don't deserve it because I have to keep doing this and that, which is nonsense. You know, I've had a good run in healing, and I still continue to heal, but I'm taking on more responsibility in my life. So it's hard. It's called adulting. And I can't afford to live in a fantasy world. Having connection to the world is more important to me. And that is also fixing relationships to the best that I can. And um, being supportive, but I can't be supportive personally to people who don't appreciate my friendship, and people who don't appreciate my development. I guess that's only for me to appreciate, but it seems like, with past friendships, that if I were in the position of stress and underdevelopment, it was their chance to shine, so to speak. But when I've pulled through that, and I'm being represented, I'm representing myself in a positive way, um, it's not a good thing, it seems, because I'm not allowed to get past the image that they've had of me. And that's has a lot to do with me and how I have contributed to that. But, when people think that way, they're not your friends. These people are not my friends. These people are not people I want to connect to. It should be a supportive environment. And I think sometimes they misunderstand me. They think that I have some level of jealousy because they are thriving in an area in which I am not. But it's not even that, because I will reasonably look at someone's example. When I say reasonably, because I have my own mind and my own set of values and things, but I also look at, if I have a question about how something is done, I might observe somebody by maybe asking them a question, or I'm going on the field with them, so to speak, to see how something is done. And so I learn from their example. But, um, but if something that's doesn't have anything to do with me, I can be happy for my friends if they're happy in what they're doing. And I think it's really, my opinion, it's selfish to expect people to appreciate me, but I also think it's very selfish when people want that one-sided relationship, and unless I'm jealous of them in some way, it's I'm somehow don't care. I mean, I don't get that. I had a friend. I recently connected with her, and not to put anything on mine, but just to let her know that um, I'm okay, and I was curious about how she's doing. And I left that friendship, and I was pretty sure it was over. It probably is, but it doesn't have to be an intense friendship. It can just be two equals who respect each other and who talk on occasion, and that's okay. And maybe that's something that I would only expect from this person. Um, and it's up to me if that's something I want to do, because having contacts is important, having a network is important, and those relationships and friendships change over time. I have somebody who I was engaged to a very long time ago. We were in an intensive relationship for a few years, but we've been friends for a very long time. And I would say more distant friends, right? And I spoke to him recently for a few hours on the phone, and I don't like staying that long on the phone. I tend to stay away from communication, though I try to reach out. But it was good because I um, he experienced a loss. That loss is connected to me because it was my loss as well. But he gave me the opportunity and the respect to mourn that. And there was some miscommunication where I didn't get that information on time. And he gave me that respect of that information because I had such a good relationship with his family member. And a lot of assumptions were that we might have made about each other, things. There was a lot of truth telling, and I'm at peace. I'm at peace. We're at peace with each other. We're not like going to be best friends in the world. I have a best friend. He has a best friend, and we live two very different lives. But I feel like there's this, peace between us. And I just wanted to know, I wanted him to know how much his family member was appreciated by me, and that, I gave him what a friend would do, much in the way he gave me the respect of information that's important to me. So, yeah, over time, friendships change and they develop into things. And sometimes friendships blossom. Sometimes they turn into something else. And, it's hard for me to accept those changes. But this is what human relationships are about. And I'm older and I've experienced a lot, and things that meant a lot to me 30 years ago don't mean anything to me anymore. Um, so, I don't know. It's just that those situations do not connect with my profound sadness. I talked about that. I don't know where the profound sadness comes from. I don't know. I can't connect it. It's not the same as being in a state of depression, though my best friend thinks I'm in a state of depression. I don't think that's what it is because it feels so different. Um, because with depression, I react differently. So I don't know what the profound sadness comes from. I don't know what it is. Like I said, it could be something with stress, it could be something with the external stuff. And um, I just have to find a more creative outlet. I did start watercoloring again. I went to a class for that about a year, almost 2 years ago, actually. I'm thinking of doing another class, probably in the summer, and concentrating on that to develop myself as much as I can to take me out of this stress. I have to get back into art. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm making plans to go to the art museum perhaps this weekend or the next weekend, and um, also just making plans. My personal situation is changing because we grow, we move on, we do things, and we're not in that pandemic era emergency anymore. That for this sake of us all, we have to make some profound changes, and that's really unsettling, but it's necessary. It's necessary. It doesn't have anything to do with me as a person other than this is a natural progression of life. So there's a little bit of upheaval, and there is anxiety about that, of course. And old feelings are coming up. There isn't anything I can do about that other than trying to um, work on that as responsibly as I can. And it's probably going to be one of the best things that has happened because it will ensure my future independence and stability. And that's what I have to work toward. Moving on, I have set up a new account, a second account, and it's tentatively called Elisa's Vlogs. I will have a more creative name for that soon, but that's all it will be about. Just about my everyday living, cooking, going from place to place, going to museums, enjoying the atmosphere, maybe what I eat in a day if I'm not too self conscious. Springtime, so I'll be riding the bike more often, and I think it will be a great experience. It will certainly allow me a creative outlet. I am doing the watercoloring again, and I have found that to be very therapeutic. Any form of art like that is very therapeutic, or it can be, depending on the person. And I'm also using my creativity to do other things and how I would set up um, a new place to live, for instance, how I would decorate it, how I would use that space. Things are changing, and I want that creativity reflected in that. You might be able to take part in that journey with me. I don't know. I don't know how much of my life I really want to share yet, but I do know I want to make an account where I'm a little bit more visible, where I have more freedom of expressing myself and being myself. So I figure right now that that is a good thing to do. I could have stayed on this channel to do it, but that's not what this channel was originally set up for. So we will see in time. When that official launch happens, I will indicate it on this channel and make it obvious. So this is something that I've thought about for a long time. I've always said I wanted to improve my original channel, this one. I don't know what kind of improvements I can make on it. I haven't thought about that. But I think the second channel is an improvement in that it's going to be focusing more on what I do. Now, I've seen a lot of vlogs, people's vlogs every day. You still have to be creative. You still have to figure out what people maybe want to see. You have to set up those boundaries of what you're willing to share because that's important. And I think that for me, documenting my goals will help me stay more accountable toward those goals and talk about if I haven't reached those goals, why. And maybe I can just get out of this funk that I'm in. And it'll give me a good outlet to express myself, and I'm not trapped in this cycle of doom and gloom. So that's something to look forward to. And I have the equipment now and the training to do that, to carry that out. So I hopefully soon. Things are a little chaotic right now, so I can't really do anything at this moment, but hopefully by sometime later in the spring, it will be official and it will be nice. So I'll take you on bike rides. Um, Maybe I can document my anxiety taking the train because I can't get on the train at all. Now I'm just avoiding it completely, and there are a lot of reasons for that. And I love trains and trams. I just cannot get on one of them. I have such anxiety, and there are technical reasons. I don't always feel safe riding the MBTA trains for that reason. So I think that it will be good to maybe document my anxiety cycle as I go through with it. It's kind of something that may not be might not be good in a vlog, but I want to overcome some things. I want to start working on some things, and I think that having that level of exposure to it while you witnessing that would be a good idea, because then it shows them I'm not fearing things anymore. And you'll see me as I go along the journey and being connected to that healing and connected to those goals. And that helps me stay accountable, I think, to myself. And because there are a lot of things that I am facing in my personal life, not just in my personal life, but my public life where I live. So I need to be able to match up things, to be able to um, persevere as much as I can. Now, I'm not going to be ableist to myself and pretend that I have these things to overcome. There are a lot of things going on, and I think inequity, inaccessibility are major problems. It's not up to me to build myself up to a person who is considered able-bodied. But I do want to, for my own health and well-being, want to face things so that I can, for me, expand my own accessibility and have a deeper understanding about that. So thank you all for your patience and for being my subscribers, viewers, or detractors. I think without all of you involved. I mean, I would not have gotten this far. I'm even surprised I have the subscribers I have. And I lost a lot because of my political stuff, but it's all right because I'm not going to lie about who I am. And I don't want to keep that too much a secret. Okay? So thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. You take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.